In a stunning turn of events shaking Ottawa's political core, Speaker of the House of Commons Francis Scarpaleggia has officially ordered a recount in several key ridings, throwing the recent federal election into chaos. The surprise announcement came amid mounting allegations of irregularities and rising pressure from opposition parties, fundamentally challenging the narrative of Mark Carney's Liberal government. Sources inside Parliament Hill reveal that the decision has sent shockwaves through the Liberal Party, with senior officials reportedly in a state of panic. Prime Minister Mark Carney, the former Bank of Canada governor, is said to be furious over the development, expressing outrage at what he perceives as a direct blow to the party's legitimacy following their 2025 election victory against Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives. The April 28th federal election, which saw the Liberals secure a fourth consecutive term with a minority government, was hailed by Carney as a historic comeback. Polls leading up to the election had projected a Conservative landslide, a trend that dramatically reversed after Carney replaced Justin Trudeau as Liberal leader. However, the initial celebratory mood within Liberal circles has rapidly dissipated amidst persistent whispers and now official action regarding the integrity of the vote. The decision by Speaker Scarpaleggia, himself a re-elected Liberal MP, to order these recounts is highly unusual and underscores the depth of concern surrounding the election's conduct. While the Speaker's role is largely procedural, overseeing House proceedings and maintaining order, his authority to initiate such a widespread review stems from the accumulating evidence of anomalies. Typically, recounts are triggered by close margins or specific legal challenges in individual ridings. The breadth of Scarpaleggia's order suggests a systemic issue that cannot be ignored. Among the ridings already facing intense scrutiny is Terrebonne, Quebec, where a judicial recount had already flipped the seat to the Liberals by a single vote, a reversal from the initial election night results. Similarly, the riding of Milton East Halton Hills, south in Ontario, saw a Liberal candidate win by just 21 votes after a recount, overturning an initial Conservative lead. These razor-thin margins and last-minute shifts have fueled scepticism and cries of foul play from the Conservative Party and a segment of the Canadian public. Allegations of irregularities have plagued the election since before polling day. Social media was rife with claims of vote fraud and manipulation, though Elections Canada maintained safeguards were in place. However, reports of polling station problems, particularly in remote areas like Nunavik, where some communities were reportedly unable to vote at all or faced inconsistent polling hours, added to the growing distrust. Furthermore, concerns about foreign interference, particularly from China, targeting the election via platforms like WeChat, had been raised by the government's site task force even before the ballots were cast. While officials initially downplayed the impact of such activities on the overall fairness of the election, the renewed focus on recounts suggests these issues may have been more pervasive than initially admitted. For Prime Minister Carney, this development is a profound blow to his nascent government's authority. Having campaigned on a platform of unity and a strong stance against perceived threats to Canadian sovereignty, particularly from the United States under President Trump, Carney's victory was presented as a rallying cry for Canadians. His post-election speeches emphasized the need to build Canada strong and unite against external pressures. Now, the internal questioning of the very foundation of his power risks undermining that message and diverting precious political capital. The Liberal Party, still basking in the glow of a comeback that defied most pre-election predictions, now finds itself on the defensive. Senior party strategists are reportedly scrambling to assess the potential fallout from the recounts. The fear is not just losing a handful of seats, which could erode their minority government further, but the broader damage to public trust in the electoral system. Any widespread confirmation of irregularities would provide significant ammunition to the Conservatives, who have consistently painted Carney's victory as illegitimate and engineered by the establishment. Pierre Poilievre's Conservative Party, though outwardly restrained in their official comments, is undoubtedly buoyed by this turn of events. They have consistently highlighted the unexplained aspects of the election, from vanishing ballot boxes to sudden shifts in vote counts. A more comprehensive recount, forced by the Speaker, validates many of their long-standing concerns and reinforces their narrative that the election was stolen in broad daylight. This could significantly empower Poilievre and his caucus as Parliament resumes, potentially leading to increased demands for broader investigations and even calls for a fresh general election if enough seats flip. The unfolding situation places immense pressure on the Governor-General, Mary Simon. Her role as the head of state, responsible for upholding the Constitution, becomes paramount in a time of such political uncertainty. Should the recounts confirm widespread systemic irregularities, the demands for her intervention, potentially to dissolve the current parliament and call for new elections under an interim caretaker government, would become deafening. This scenario, while extreme, is no longer considered outside the realm of possibility in the charged atmosphere of Ottawa. The political turmoil extends beyond the immediate fate of a few ridings. It speaks to a deeper mistrust in institutions that has been brewing in Canada. The perception that power is being concentrated in the hands of a disconnected elite, and that the voices of ordinary Canadians are being ignored, has fueled a powerful undercurrent of discontent. Should the recounts reveal substantial discrepancies, it would not only delegitimize Carney's government, but also further erode confidence in the democratic processes themselves. As Canada stands on the precipice of this significant political challenge, all eyes will be on the recount process. The coming weeks will determine whether Mark Carney's government can withstand this unprecedented scrutiny, or if the Speaker's order marks the beginning of a profound political realignment and a renewed battle for the heart of Canadian democracy. The stakes could not be higher, and the repercussions of these recounts will undoubtedly shape Canada's political landscape for years to come.